Time to put your vehicle in a drive. Get it to travel. Like Mary, you are for you to put it on travel. When the was so easy on me body. And when it comes on them there, the man the look and it on them there.
When the God man them there. Greetings and salutations to the man them from Moran Point to Negril. It's August 19, 2026. Courtney and Kevin in the place. So this evening we'll be looking at boys and the classroom. That's right, boys and the classroom. So as the lazy days of summer wind down, the reality of early alarms, school supplies, and daily routines is just around the corner. Some parents don't remind me. Engaging boys in the classroom this new school year will require understanding distinct developmental patterns, movement needs, and relational learning styles. Many boys benefit from active participation, clear relevance in lessons, and strong personal connections with their teachers. So, what are some of the key strategies we'll be looking at for engaging our boys? Incorporate movement, show relevance, build relationships, use hands-on tasks. This is the program designed for men with guests who are men, hosted by men. It's aired every Wednesday, unless it's a holiday, at 5:30 p.m. right here on Love 101, the family station. It is the mailbox. By the way, I'm Kevin Bailey, and right here, my co-host.
And I'm Courtney Morrison, along with Kevin Bailey. As we've been doing this for the past 14 years, we want to say to all our listeners, thanks for making Love 101 your station of choice. We're talking about boys and the classroom. Today, we'll be having a conversation with special guest, Dr. Howard Harvey, Career Development Officer at Heart NSTA Leap Center, as he shares on key strategies for engaging boys in the classroom and how they respond strongly to mentors they trust. It's going to be an exciting program.
It is going to be, Courtney. Let us just listen a little bit about Dr. Howard Harvey, Career Development Officer at Heart NSTA Leap Center. Dr. Howard Harvey's professional education started at the University of the West Indies offsite campus, pursuing early childhood education and child psychology. He went on to complete his Bachelor of Science in Career Development at the Vocational Training Development Institute, VTDI. Later, a Master of Art degree in teaching at the Maiko University College. Major in social science, aiming to take his education to the highest level, he later achieved his doctorate in educational leadership from Temple University in USA. Dr. Harvey has been at the Heart Trust NSTA Leap Center for over 26 years, where he has been providing both career and psychosocial guidance to both youths and adults. An adjunct lecturer at many universities, Dr. Harvey miraculously still finds the time to coach basketball, present at numerous educational seminars, workshops, and motivational talks across the island. He's an advocate for positive psychology in the areas of mental health, leadership, and behavior modification. We're in for a treat again, Courtney.
And indeed, we just welcome Dr. Howard Harvey here with us this afternoon. Dr. Harvey, how are you today? Glad to have you with us. Thanks for making Love 101 and the mailbox and fitting us into your schedule.
Good afternoon. Yes, checking my mic. I'm good. And how you all wonderful gentlemen, man in the place doing?
We are doing great, even better for having you as our
thank you.
again.
Yes. All right, good. This is good.
It is. So man and man, remember, we want to hear from you. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica. Remember, you can leave your comments via our WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125 or call our studio lines at 876-968-8327. Or You can call us 876-968-8328. We're also on TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica. You have many choices, my friends.
That's right. And ladies, what Una say, we can't do without you ladies. So this is where you come in. We would like you to answer the question. What do you think should be done to reach our boys in the classroom? Ladies, please answer this question. You can participate in the program by leaving us a message via WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube. Remember, no calls or voice notes are allowed. Allow the men them to call or use the voice notes. But please answer for us, ladies. What do you think should be done to reach our boys in the classroom? Yes. So Dr. Harvey, we normally say together after we count to 3, we simply say Mandea. So we'd like you to join us after 3.
Certainly.
Yes, we want them to know that men are here. So after 3, 1, 2, 3.
Mandea!
Right.
Indeed. There are 3 men here today, and we want to talk about boys in the classroom. How can we reach them? Are we reaching them? What has changed? Once upon a time, we had more boys in the university than women. Now it's the other way around. We're going to see if with Dr. Harvey we can find out what can be happening. But before we go into the main feature, we have a section we draft, which means direct response for the featured theme. And the big question to you, Dr. Harvey, is, are we doing enough to reach our boys in the classroom? Yea or nay? And whichever choice you make, please give us a little bit of explanation.
Good evening, viewers, listeners, whichever platform you're on. I want to say that we're going to have an interesting evening this evening. Thank you for that question. So I'm going to start off by saying that we are not doing enough. And one of the reasons why we're not doing enough, we haven't been able to assess all our boys with the various different nuances. And I will speak to one or two maybe. But one of the main one I want to talk about is the ACEs. And they're adverse, they're called ACEs, and they're adverse, it's an acronym, adverse childhood experiences. Now, these experiences tend to affect boys, sadly, more than girls in many ways, form or shape. We would have to do some more study to find out exactly why. But according to Dr. Herbert Gale, in his research in looking at males who are in crime, we found, when I look at his study, that some of the areas that are damaging to our boys affect their learning, like abandonment of parents, and that mainly comes from the males side. Verbal abuse sometimes also come from the male if they're around, but also from the female, and a number of other adverse experience, like seeing crime happening in and around the community. Another one is that separation of family, divorce or breakup where the mother or the father separate. We're also looking at sometimes sexual abuse in the family, in the home, and we identify that a number of persons, children who have been exposed to early sex, usually come from somebody close to them, with a family friend, some kind of relatives. And these things traumatize our young men, as well as our girls as well. But since we're speaking about boys, and these things are prolonged in the lives of our children and affect their learning. Also, there are some transferable ACEs that comes from the parents. In Jamaica, we have a way of saying generational. I think they use a negative word, but is the transfer of generational traits. For example, a child may acquire some kind of genetics from both parents and it affect the child. For example, take sickle cell. That can affect a child when both mother and father, one may be a carrier and one has a trait, the child will get it full blown. So you have those kind of transferable traits that comes in ACEs. You also have other transferable ACEs like one of the parents have learning challenges. In many cases, sometimes the males, and this can also transfer genetically to the child, the boy child. And we have a number of other psychological things that affect children. For example, a child can be growing up in the home and he or she is not given the child development process, whether we use Sigmund Freud or Erickson. And this can delay the child's ability to be interested into learning. For example, take a child is creeping, he or she will want to grab things around the house, sometimes smash things. The parents will hit the child and say no, and this can affect the child in terms of independence and initiatives. And these things go on. Sometimes we have a thing called near miss, where a child will reach a point of success in achieving something in the developmental stage, and the parents not understanding, stop the child in the track, whichever way he or she does it, and the child become traumatized, and this follow the child right up to learning. Now, exam is very traumatic for boys, and there are things that happen in the psychosocial area in the home, and sometimes the child sees this and it prevents them from taking on anything that is challenging like that, and so it affects their exams. Now, there are also the learning challenges, like we have ADHD, we also have learning disorder, we have a number of special needs area that children carry over, they're not tested. And sometimes, not to knock the males, when the males realize that the children acquire these transgenetic challenges, they leave the mother, and now the burdensome situation become more burdensome for the mother to be carrying a child with special needs, as well as learning challenges and all these other things. So these things compound a child going to a classroom when there is no food at the home, or they have too many children in the home. The parent have to be focusing on the younger one, and so this child can feel dejected, rejected, and a number of other things that comes into play, where the child also, sometimes the child can also are going through some kind of depressive condition that comes through the trait, through some mental illness, and no one seems to recognize it. The child can also hit the head, and this can affect learning depending on where. Sometimes the child can get hit over the head from the parent, and these things can affect learning. Finally, some parents tend to affect the children by saying negative things to them, and this break down their motivation to want to learn, and the list goes on. I know I says a lot, but I'm trying to touch as many as I can.
And let me tell you, Dr. Harvey, that was very comprehensive. And we're going to flesh out them as much as we can, because having mentioned ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, and multitude of other things that can happen to our boys, to men, why is it that it seems that the girls are able to bounce back, to be resilient, are able to get supportive system, that they are doing so well, and the boys are not? We're going to ask you to consider it, because we're going to go to our first break. But just to tell us, why is it that you can have male and female in the same classroom, right, being exposed to abandonment, hereditary traits, seeing crime, all of that, and it just seems that our boys are the one that are failing, dropping out, not able to maximize their potential. This is the mailbox. Courtney and Kevin in the place. A very special guest, Dr. Howard Harvey. We take our first break. We go to the studio. Then we'll be right back after this.
I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man, man. I am a man, yes. Strong man. Integrity man, I am a man.
This is Love 101 FM, the family station. It's 5:45.
Montego Bay, we're here. It's time to transform your space with Home and Things. Your construction finishes superstore is now open in Ironshore. Come explore our stunning new showroom at 1215 Providence Way. From tiles and bathroom fixtures to stylish fittings and home decor for every budget. We have everything you need to build or renovate in style. Quality trust at the lowest prices guaranteed. Visit us today at 1215 Providence Way, Ironshore. Jamaica builds with Home and Things.
Path beneficiaries, September is almost here, and we have great news. The Ministry of Labor and Social Security is providing a $5,000 back-to-school grant for children in Path-supported households who are enrolled in primary or secondary school. No need to apply. Payments are included in the August Path payment cycle before school reopens. Path, advancing your family, developing Jamaica. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, providing opportunities, stability, and social protection.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
Welcome back to the program, The Mailbox. Pastor Courtney Morrison, along with Kevin Bailey and our special guest, Dr. Howard Harvey. We're talking about boys in the classroom. Are we reaching them? And Kevin posed such an important question before we left for the break. Both boys and girls are experiencing the same ACEs, same trauma or rejection at home, but yet it seems the girls are bouncing back with more resilience than the boys. Doc, the question came before the break. Care to give us a reason behind that one?
Okay, it's going to be hard to give you a reason that is pointing. According to Plato in his Republic, he wrote that if you have two children in the home, both boys and girls, the two human beings must be engaged in all the activities. There should be any segregation in the activities. So if the girls sweep the floor, the boy is supposed to sweep the floor too, whether alternately, weekly, daily, however they do it. But the boy shouldn't be exempt. In my observation and what I've been collecting some information, in many cases, the home is left with the female parents, and the female parent tend to, I would have to go back to tell you what comes out of the research from the parent, where they tend to give the girls the home chores to do. It could be an association because of gender. And then they leave out the men, the male in the home from doing these activities. What these activities do, it builds up an emotional, a psychosocial, a physical, academic cushion for that female individual in the home. It builds up the psychomotor skills, it builds up the resilience, it builds up patience. And so the young lady now become a buffer for all these experience in the home, while the young man don't get a chance to do these things. Take, for example, washing dishes, which is a fine motor skill, which comes with penmanship. If you were to check many young ladies, they have better penmanship than males, because some parents, especially female, tend to feel that the female in the home should wash up the dishes. Same thing with some house chores. So these motor skills are rehabilitated in the young men. And then it continue from one state of emotion to the next. The other part that I observe, that when the father is there, it tends to provide a supplement of the young man seeing the male in the home, balancing these things so he can emulate or model. And one of our theorists, Albert Bandura, speaks about social learning theory. When the males see that the male adults in the home handling these things, he learned the art of manage these things. But when there's no male there to emulate, he only can observe the female. It doesn't make that connection. So the female child get that advantage. It ranges from emotions to academics to physical to literally everything.
Very, very important. And I think it's going to morph into what Debbie Ann from Senton is saying. Would love your comment on it, Dr. Harvey. She says, I think we need to have more practical areas taught at the primary level. Areas such as automotive technique, industrial arts, aviation, woodwork, etc. And she's saying at the primary level. What's your perspective on this? What's your thoughts on what she's suggesting, Dr. Harvey?
All right, I think it's in Thailand or China. I can't remember which one, but it's either one or two or maybe three countries. What they do in their schools, probably because they saw the same challenges in the home, their schools is multifaceted, where they do the academics or the academias, also they are exposed to the skills. And what happens when the children are exposed to the skills, many times the skills are hands-on, and this helps now to build up the fine motor skills and continue into the regular motor skills, the psychomotor skills, and help to develop both male and female. And so, yes, the early childhood, they say the first 5 to 7 years is the formative years. And if we miss our young men getting those integration in their development, it's going to retard them in many ways. And from one area retard, it continues like a chain effect, because the body is like a network of senses and nervous systems and all of that. And so once one mess up, it affects all. And so I am agreed with that 100%. A couple of years ago, I did a proposal to introduce skills into the primary schools, but I wanted to use that at the university, but it was turned down. But what I must say to her, the Heart NSTA Trust, which I'm a part of, if a primary school asks us to come in to give that skills base in the schools, we go in, we set up our booths, and the children come and do the hands-on, make shoes. Some shoes they do housekeeping, folding towel and spreading bed, and we expose all of them to it. Beaded jewelry, so they get that fine motor skills. So we do not deal with auto mechanic, but Heart usually, if once the school requests it, we take everything in for the school, from primary to secondary. I don't think we have gone basic yet, but she's perfectly right. And those schools, when the children see these things, they're happy. They come out, they swarm the areas, they want to try this, and they don't worry about failing. They're just really concerned about the exploration. And then at the end, the gratification is once they do something, no matter how it look, it gives them that gratification, and that can go a long way into motivation in the educational system.
Awesome. You know, I remember there was a stage that I had gone to Tarrant High School, and I noticed at the time Mr. Karcher was the principal, and I was so simply amazed. There were at least more than a dozen male teachers there, Kevin. And I recognized that the boys themselves responded greatly, even at the Parents Teachers Association meeting. Does the presence of male figure in the classroom help? Is it that our boys are just experiencing mainly female type role models, and is that having any effect on them whatsoever, whether psychomotor skills or even socio-economic issues? What can we say about that?
All right, so I'm yet to find a study that lean in that direction, but there are studies done in the Caribbean that schools that have no males, I think, yes, and if they bring males in, it increase everything. And so what happened is that male provide that balance. Remember, all human beings they come from two adults, male and female, and so they must develop all faculties with both male and female. And in the early 1600s, they did a study on the children where, when they look at the children, if a gender is missing, you literally half of you is going to go dormant. And so, yes, and so check this. So the female is in the home more than the male. The female is in the church more. The female is in the community more. The female is in the schools more. So you find that role models are limited to males, and as such, it helps to delay who we identify. And many times, many males in Jamaica don't identify with TV personnel. The social learning theorists say they want to see real people. So the girls now have those motivation from those teachers who are principals now. More principals are taking roles. And so these are things that motivate these girls from external to internal. So yes, we need more males in the classroom. And one of the things about it is, even if they're not teaching, I don't remember where I went or read it, where there are just males there, just generally for numbers. And the more they say, the more students see more males, he's like he feels more comfortable knowing that more of his kind is in the educational system. So it is there. Yes.
No. The question we keep asking: how do we change this narrative? How do we begin to change? 53.1% of our homes are headed by females. We're seeing a tertiary education. Years ago, you had in the banking so many males. Now it's reversed. middle management females in the church. Well, that's it. But Dr. Harvey, what are 2 or 3 things, from your experience and your studies that could help us to move the needle so that in the next 10 years, for instance, boy, we see some changes happening in our homes, in our schools, in our churches, in our communities? What are these things? Because I know they keep you up. I know they're always at your forefront because you're in the middle of it. But if you
Yes.
could, and I know it's a difficult question because we'll keep asking, we're trying to get answers, how do we begin to change that narrative so that we'll have more boys, more men being productive citizens of our society?
As a part of my study is policies. Policies can be important to help create this mantra in our country where we have a policy that speaks to all the 4 areas you mentioned. Policies for the home. Now, many men are not going to like to hear this, but there should be a policy that if the male and the female cannot live together, the policy should be there where the male coexists, they co-parent and provide that support for the child. So they don't have to be in the same space. But technically, some males, because they're not in the same space, they tend to, not all, do not want to give the children or the child the support, whether emotionally, physically, financially. They feel that if they're not in the home, they shouldn't. So there should be some kind of policy that foster that. Also, there should be a policy that foster the education system have more males, where creates an opportunity for male. It is alleged that teachers don't get a lot of money, and males tend to be the forerunner of breadwinning. So as a country, there could be a policy. If you're a male and you want to go to teachers' college, there should be something in there that give those males that opportunity to go to teachers' college. And also there's a buffer in the pay. Because that when I listen on the streets, that's what many males are saying. The pay is one. Also, many males find it difficult. A female will sit in the classroom for 6 hours. The males want to move. So there should be, again, policies again to give the males that flexibility where he can move in and roam in the school. So he's there in the school, but he's not fixated in the classroom for the 6 or so hours. The community now, I was just in a meeting today about males. And so when I was growing up, the community grew the children. If you pass a male, a female, or any adult and you don't say good afternoon or good morning, you're going to get scolded. And if you tell your parents, you're into trouble. Today, the community is not growing our children. The community left the children alone because some parents, if the community scold them, they attack the community, just like how they attack the schools. So there are policies that need to be in place to, and these policies must be adhered to and follow. I don't want to say fine or anything, but so our country can be better. Because just check this, if I'm a single father and I have 3 females living around my community, they can help me plot my girl here. They can help her when the time when she's in her period, and vice versa. So she don't have to get any trauma going through it with her father. And so we are missing these things, and they're right, and they used to work for us. I just think today we need policies and legislation to drive these areas.
Interesting. Policies to legislate behavior. Let's see how that works. We're up on our second break here. It's the Mailbox. I'm Courtney Morrison along with Kevin Bailey. Dr. Howard Harvey is our special guest. We're going to go pay some bills. We'll soon come back.
Integrity man, I am a man. Hey man, I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
This is Love 101 FM, the family station. It's 6 o'clock.
Sometimes all we need is a listening ear. The listening ear, the counseling, the logical reasoning, and spiritual guidance are what appeal to us. That's why I'm here. I'm Dr. Joan Pinkney, the counselor, your counselor on Love 101 FM, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 to 11 p.m. You know you can call on me. I will listen and more. So let's talk about what's bothering you. Anything. Tune in, listen, call in, text or voice message. I'm Dr. Joan Pinkney, counseling psychologist, ready with a listening ear. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 to 11 p.m. Right here on the family station, Love 101 FM.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
Welcome back. This is the Mailbox here every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. on your favorite station, Love 101 FM. Courtney and Kevin in the place. We're very honored, privileged to have Dr. Howard Harvey as our very special guest. If you're joining us from Warren Point to Negril, big up. And I have to say, big up my family and friends in Cedar Valley, St. Thomas. Went up there. The road is beautiful and the people are beautiful too. Dr. Harvey, I want to ask you, is there a place for females, women, to help our boys to men to become better? Because sometimes the females say, we are doing this because you have abused us in the past. Patriarchy has killed us. And now we are taking revenge in quotation. So all you know own stress, don't know one thing on a man up and no bother with it. Dr. Harvey, help us here, because at the same time, women want husbands. They want persons who are educated and certain financial situation where girls can't find good husbands. And at the same time, they're saying we must do it by ourselves. So there seems to be a disconnection. What is the place of females, mothers, grandmothers, women in this narrative that we want to create? Your perspective on that?
All right, that's a very good question, because I'm wondering if I have one perspective or many. But one of the things that where a place I will start first is the church. I think the church is one of the system or the pillar in our society that we can start to build that safe haven, yes, for our males, for our females to start teaching value system, Christian values. And once we start there, take responsibility. In some churches, they will have men's ministry, female ministry, and in some cases, it separates. I am recommending that when we're having these, especially the males, the young men must come in to these spaces. And the program must be for the family. You see, what we have done, we have dichotomy, and I'm using the word dichotomy to mean to separate, and separate in the sense to kill. When you have gender, like males day at school and female day at school, you are actually sending a message atmospherically. You're separating us. And I'm saying, if you're having an issue, a presentation, have both male and female children in the same space, discuss the issues that affect both male and female, so the two gender there can learn from each other and learn to coexist. We have created this, but based upon what you just said a little while, which is very interesting, because every time the church is having something which is important, you have that separation, and some people let's say they're not invited, they just uninvited themselves. The female, this ladies service. Some of we as males just separate, a female service. Instead of we go so we can learn from the female. I think years ago I was reading something, and they say if you're living with a woman and she go to the bar, most women go to the bathroom, they sometimes read. They read female books. As a male, you want to know where your wife or your daughter read a book they took, so you can understand what they are going through, what are their challenges, what are they learning. We separate ourselves, so the country kind of create that. So I would like the church to start building that. There are some very good, powerful women conferences going on. I am recommending that they invite strategic males in the society to come to these conferences so we can learn and then go back now in our homes, in our church and our community to help build up our males again, as well as our females from a male perspective. The thing as they come separated, where man and look out for man, woman and look out for woman, and we're not realizing it affecting the children. And later on now, we're not going to have I was having a discussion with some college female, and them don't want to have no children. One of the reasons why they don't want to have no children is they don't see, as I said, the quality male that they should lay themselves with to have a child based upon what they have seen. Because we lack the teaching. And I want to share this in my final point here in this one. Many of us don't know our love language, and I like to promote this. The 5 love language by a guy named Gary Chapman, that book. We all need to read the book and do that test, because many females are looking for love from males, which is not that male love language, and vice versa. So you don't have that coexisting where we are loving each other according to, not my love language, according to the female love language, and vice versa. And it goes with children, with father and mother, and it goes in our society, even in schools. So there's a dichotomy in how we love each other and sharing with each other, because we're sharing according to we. So my love language is going to be different from my son or my daughter. I can't love them from me. That means that I'll be loving me both ways. I don't need to find out what is my son love language and my daughter, and love them that way so they can grow up to love themselves and love others. So these are the things that we have to put into place to create an atmosphere for growth and development for both male and female.
Dr. Harvey, there's a question I have, but let me see this comment here from Vanessa Valentine 9559. I believe that having more male teachers in the classroom would be effective in assisting boys in the classroom. This would facilitate them having teachers who they can better relate to, you know, and I still hold my position from the beginning that I agree that, because I actually saw it playing itself out. But here's a question I like to ask. I like to find out, what was it that we were doing better in time gone by where we could have 75% enrollment of male and seeing the males doing much better than they are now? What is it that have changed? Or is it that we need to get back some of those old methods to place them in today's society for men to get back to that place, or at least balance out what is happening? Because I am really saying, if there was something that worked and worked well, we probably need to reintroduce it if it went away. Or is it just that times have changed? Dr. Harvey, your take on that.
It went away and time has changed. But there's an integral thing that I was collecting some information from some female. What happened though is that for one reason or the other, they're not satisfied with their income. And so what a lot of female did, they put themselves in a position so they can grow higher academically. And this is a big thing they say, to break the glass ceiling in corporate Jamaica. So they go higher. But what happens is that took them away from the home. So let's say a female is a manager in a major corporation, and she goes home at 5. She can have time to spend with the children and so on. Now, when she becomes the director or the CEO, today she's in Chicago, tomorrow she's in LA. So she leave the children. So that broke down her role there, because now she acquire more material things to give a child, but the attention, the love, the care, the study is not there from the children, because the mother is not there like that. And also, I'm not knocking the women, they are competing with the men. And so you find the pushback where some men tend to step back away from the family when they realize that the female is striving. And instead of supporting, so if a male and a female are together and the female want to go and study, as a male, my role is now to step in and play that role that she usually play, so she can go and study and achieve, so the family can be better. What many males do, we step away, and now the children still leave alone, and the woman is going for that target because she feels that it's going to make the child's life better, but it's just better materialistically, not emotionally and not academically and other things. So there goes the challenge in my observation when I look at it.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Harvey. How do we deal with the displacement of anger, in the sense that if our men, for whatever the reasons are not in the home, sometimes ladies feel stressed, they feel rejected, they thought they would have been the one to get the ring, the man move on, and move on, etc. And because they can't catch Kwaku, then catch him short. And so they displace the anger onto the boys. As you shared the study by Dr. Herbert Gill, boys are abused physically, verbally, and it appears that the full weight of the anger displaced is onto the boys,
Especially if he looks like the father.
Oh my gosh. So how do you help this true, Courtney? How do you help our women then? They are feeling pain, rejected, abandoned, all of that, and feeling stressed. What is it that they need to do to ensure that they are still providing the nurturing and the love and the forgiveness and helping our boys to become better? What do you say to a woman in that situation, Dr. Harvey?
So I will go back. So all of us have aces. All of us were traumatized. Some of us in various ways, and some of us are carrying it for the father, and some carrying it for the mother. One of the first things is that to help our children and our nation, we have to put our feelings not aside, and hold and try and correct the feelings by finding out what are the aces that are affecting me that caused me to be this way. Ask for forgiveness and forgive the persons who harm you. Because here's the deal. If my wife or my baby mother hurt me, I am holding on to it, and we're not together anymore. If I don't let that go, it's going to affect me from growing exponentially in another relationship, even my work. And so because I am carrying these aces, it's like drinking poison, thinking that it's hurting that lady and hurting me. So I want us to, as a nation, to come together, pray and ask for forgiveness on both sides. Go over to the person and say, listen, you hurt me, I hurt you. I want to clean this up. So the female might need to take the first step, or the male. I don't know which one. But right now, the female is carrying the brunt of it. And even our churches, some of the females, because I've had meeting with parents in the churches, they are suffering because they're carrying the hurt from the baby father. The church need to also step in now to pray for our females for healing. And they need to confess these sins and clean it up. And then they also need therapy to continue on it. So they can meet the adversary face on and say to them, yes, I forgive you for what you have done, because you did not know what you're doing. And the Lord said, forgive them for they know not what they have done. And so many times, all of us who get hurt, the person who hurt us, not even aware that they're hurting us, because it is a psychological engraved, we call it, it's a systematic or systemic in the system, where it's like reflex. You do it to somebody and you don't realize, but it's because of what happened to you. So it's not what's wrong with the person, it's what happened. And who hurt them? How can we reach them to correct it? You have a number of behavioral technique, like positive behavior technique, where we do positive self-talk, self-motivation, where as an individual, I will tell myself that whatever I'm going through, I am good. I am great. I am wonderfully made. I am going to do the best. So when you keep telling yourself these things, will transfer it to others. But what happens is people are holding on to the 8 words and the action comes out. Now, we need a collection of people. We have a lot of therapists in Jamaica now, more than ever. I'm sorry to say they are mostly females, because I've been in the presence of them. But we have the church. There's a study came out of Harvard University. I think it's 2024, 2023, thereabout.
Dr. Harvey, we want to hear you clearly, but we have to take this other break. When we come back, then you'll complete your statement. So this is the mailbox, Kevin and Courtney, our very special guest, Dr. Harvey. We'll go to the studio and we'll be right back after this.
I am a man. I am a man. I am a man. I am a man. Yes. Strong man. Integrity man. I am a man. Hey man. I am a man. I am a man. I am a man. Yes. Strong man. Integrity man. I am a man. Man. I am a man. I am a man. I am a man. Yes. Strong man. Integrity man, I am a man.
Hey, turn up to 25. Turn up to 25.
Turn up your winning system with Digicel.
The time brought to you by Digicel is
15.
Hey, turn up to 25. Turn up to 25. Could I drive out fresh in a MG ride when I stay educational. Part of Jamily Cash. Yes, smart TV, PS5. I know I'm upgrade.
Turn up your winning this summer with Digicel. Sign up for Switch to Postpaid or Digicel Plus. Buy a SIM. Top up with 5 bills or more. Buy a 7-day plan or higher. A smartphone deal or just pay your bill. Authorized under Section 58 3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promotion period June 24 to September 5, 2026. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for terms and conditions.
The Jamaica Association of General Baptist Churches presents its 59th annual association held in Maypen, Clarendon on Sunday, August 16, 2026, under the theme Growing in Grace, Celebrating God's Faithfulness with speaker Reverend Mark Powell. Listen to the recording of this service on Sunday, August 23 from 1 p.m. to 2:15 p.m. That's the Jamaica Association of General Baptist Churches 59th Annual Association. Listen to the recording of this service on Sunday, August 23 from 1 p.m. to 2:15 p.m. right here on the family station, Love 101.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
Welcome back to the program, The Mailbox. I'm Courtney Morrison along with Kevin Bailey, our special guest, Dr. Howard Harvey. We're talking about engaging boys in the classroom. Why are boys not seemingly engaged? Are there practical steps that we need to take? But before we went for the break, Kevin had presented a question to Dr. Harvey. We want you to complete answering that, but we really want to just end talking about how do we really and truly engage our boys? Are they also seen as non-emotional beings? And probably that's part of the reason. Dr. Harvey.
Right. So the study came out of Harvard University, and it indicated that the church is one of the most powerfulest therapeutic institutions available to us. And most of the times it's free, except when you have to pay a little offering or tithes. It is there for prayer, for forgiveness. When you pray, you have a being that you're praying to give you help. It helps ease the stress. It is also serve as mental health treatment. You have a family there. The church is family, to give you that family support. The church is there also to teach the fundamentals of values, Christian values, building positive relationship in the church, showing respect to one another. Also, the church provide building self-esteem. In the churches, the young men are given opportunity to speak, to express themselves, to participate in different activities. And the church have both males and females that provide that family support, even though there are more females. And in many churches, the church have leaders who are males, and they can idolize these males in terms of role modeling. And so we feel that these young men, our young men, can be transformed by using the church and building positive relationships, showing respect. We need to start being positive. All of us in our community, in the church, the home, the schools. There's a guy named Abraham Maslow that talks about the hierarchy of needs, motivation. We want to feel belonged. Males want to feel accepted. Males want to feel respected. So both males must respect males. Females must respect, and everybody must respect each other. Be positive. Show and encourage each other in every way. Call each other positive names. You know, today we don't have positive names to call each other. We want to all to show emotional support by teaching our boys self-regulation and coping strategies. Create a safe space for expression of emotion. We need to allow our boys to express themselves, to cry, to say what is inside of them. Our society tend to take away that from them. Also, we need to allow our boys to model empathy and positive communication. Sometimes our boys just not able to communicate positively because of where we are coming from. We also want our boys to start learning things, but through exploration. Allow them to ask questions, to understand various different things. In our classrooms, the teachers need to understand the different learning styles, because we cannot teach all the boys the same way, because all of them are coming from different background and have different genetical makeup. bring the skills in, bring technology in, bring art in, bring auto mechanic in, bring drama in the schools, bring entrepreneurship, teach them how to do business, how to sell sweetie and collect money and check. Let them start becoming, bring the real world in the school, assimilate the real world so they can be active and engaging. Let them know the love language. Let them do the 5 love language tests so they can know how to treat each other and how people must treat them because they now know who they are. Let them to get self-respect in themselves, to look at that I am valuable, I worth something. And so when somebody come to them, they are able to identify with these qualities so they don't get any treatment and accept it. One of the problems with our boys, people treat them say anything to them, they accept it, but they internalize it and it affects them later on and it comes out. And so we're losing them. We want our females now to start set the boundaries. If a man on the street calling to you, stop him. No, sir, this is the way. And show him how to talk. Show the young men how to communicate with females, young and old, with respect. Can show them how to express gratitude. And so we need to start build these things. We have a program right now. Years ago, we have this program called PALS. I don't know if you remember it. Peace and Love in Schools. It has some components coming from the Bible. And today we have a new thing in the schools called PBIS, Positive Behavior in Schools. But not all the schools are enforcing these things. And so we need to get back to those foundation. And sometimes academics, the reading and we can stop the reading and writing and have the children engaged in activities. Go back to the days when we used to play marble. You connect these activities where they engage in, where they share. Bring back those days where the community accept your child for who he is, and we work in the community, we exchange. You help us and we help you. We have to get back to those days because those days are going to bring us back to where we are coming from, with the data showing over 70% of our male was doing well.
Question, Dr. Harvey. So many things, and boy, time running out. But our producer asking here, are teachers being equipped to deliver those skills that you're speaking about? Are teachers being equipped to deliver? Because quite a lot of things you suggested, and things that could work. What is your take on it? Are teachers equipped to deliver these things in the classroom?
I would say twofold. Some teachers' college teach these things. Some teach it more than others. Some of our teachers, they are exposed to them, but I think what happens is to enforce them, they have so many other things to deal with. Some of these strategies don't get to come out and play out. There's a lot of research done by teachers in Jamaica, especially from one institution that I'm connected to, and they have done a lot of research with some of these things I'm talking about. But the agenda that they have to push from the hierarchy tend to suppress some of these, so they don't get enough time. And in teaching, time is important. So yes, some of them are exposed. However, they will lose these skills and strategies if they don't practice them. So what we need to do is capacity building to reintegrate or resensitize them or orientate them with some of these things so they can memorize them and go back to them. But in many cases, some are not exposed. Like I have gone to a number of presentations with teachers, and some things they're not exposed to. Maybe it's the college that they're coming from or the background, but some are not. And that's the honest truth. And so when I do sessions, I tend to go in with some of these strategies and I make them be practical. Like I have done a session with a school where the session was the entire day, no reading and writing, pure practical. And it was so rewarding to me to see the teachers doing these practical things without any pencil reading and writing. But I don't know if they transfer this experience into the classroom, because they told me sometimes that the objectives, the mission and vision of the school coming from the ministry may not allow them to apply some of these strategies. And also I want to add to, and I'm saying this publicly, the teachers are asked to do action research to gather data, but they're not given the time to collect the data, to correct these problems in the school while they're teaching, because the action research can allow them to do these things, but they don't get the time to do it. But they're also evaluated and research, but they don't have the time to do the research. And these are some of the things that will bring out these strategies if they have the time more.
Dr. Harvey, we watch as Seaford High has introduced virtual reality in the classrooms to help as a new innovation for education, especially something that is seen where our boys are gravitating towards. I don't know if you have seen that as yet. It is making headlines, and I've seen where the European Union have decided to also come and speak to our great content creators to see how they can motivate and activate something. There are questions that I have, but time won't allow. I wanted to ask about Father's Wound. If there was something that you would see as being an instigative depressant, I wouldn't even say motivator, that has caused our boys not even to want to enter the classroom. But I think you touched a part of it. Our boys aren't seen as valuable anymore. They're seen as second-class citizens, I think. Everything they seem to say, based on what I hear, things are more geared towards females succeeding, while boys accede to the success of females and leave themselves out.
Yes.
There's just so much. There's just so much, sir.
Yes.
Any final words you want to share with us in the next minute and a half before we close the program?
Yes, I would like us to, as a nation, to call to action. And one of the first things we have to do, as an individual, whether you're a teacher, doctor, lawyer, whichever area you're in, as long as you're a male or a female, to come to the realization that our men are not doing very well. And all of us need to look at ourselves. What are the aces that we are carrying that causing us to not contributing to our male development? And ask the Lord to forgive us. Because one of the problems is, according to the study by Herbert Gill, if we don't, and more of these young men continue, they're gonna be a army of them, where we're not gonna have enough of us, not enough police, not enough soldier. So we need to stop now and see, how can we help stop this? We need to come together with the females. The females are doing very well, and team up with them to find out what can we carry over. Because now the home don't have both male and female in many homes. So we have to find another way to get the females together with us as males. Like, this is a very good program. And if we could have more males on so they can hear, and the females along with us to help carry this. And the church now, I love the church so much in this sense, because the church will bring us back to our values, our esteem, our respect for one another, for the higher being, to worship and give thanks to God, looking for higher being to intercede, learn how to share and give back. There's an observation I did some time ago where a lot of males in Jamaica, and I'm knocking males, tend to have a problem with giving finance to the church. But they'll gamble, they'll smoke, they'll do all those things with those monies. And those monies are not sowing no seed in our community, in our family, in our children, in our schools. And if they give these monies to the church, when the prayer goes up on these offering and these things that they contribute, it will increase exponentially in our community. And the Bible talk about it. So I want our men to give back now. Come in, men. Start coming to the churches. Start giving your talent, your skills to our young men, to our young ladies, your offering, and let our community and our country come back where the balance is there.
Yes.
Awesome. We have to wrap there. We noticed that there's also a men's conference that's happening. Theme, know where you're going, walking with purpose, Proverbs 29, verse 18. And this is happening September 13, 2026, Church of the Nazarene. Yes?
The fifth.
Courtney. The 5th.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the first week. Sorry about that.
Has the wrong date on it. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that's the 5th of September. That's 2 weeks from now. And Dr. Harvey will be one of the persons there, and probably Kevin and Courtney as well. Thanks to our guest, Dr. Howard Harvey, Career Development Officer at Heart Enestia Leap Center. We end the show with a quote. Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. Albert Einstein said that.
That's it for show this week. Happy for the rest of the time here, for the rest of the week. Thank you so much, Dr. Howard Harvey. Catch you next week, Wednesday. Same place.
Thank you
same
for having
time,
me.
inside the mailbox.
Yes.
Yes. And we say Monday.
Monday.
Bless you.
Have a good week.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a
You're tuned to Family Radio in Jamaica. We love 101 FM. Thank you for choosing us to stay connected. It's now 6:30, and it's that time of day for us to bring you up to date with weather information here in Jamaica. In Kingston at this time, it's 30 degrees Celsius, and it converts to 86 Fahrenheit.